All right. Look, here, Ken. Welcome back. All right. I need to fix. I need to fix all the things. Just watching Adam's stream, making sure he's got everything he needs right now. All right. Well, I'll get started here. I need to actually get these configs. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. Go unmute Adams.
Thrones, the Game of Thrones wine sip. Every single wine sip in Game of Thrones sounds like this. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny little lip sip or if it's a big gulp. That's what Game of Thrones, and also cups of tea in EastEnders.
All right. Let's
Sound like that. Anyway, right. Yes, the arms and head are too high in the hand. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. Because if he's like, if the wall is here, his arm will be sticking out really long. And should I move the hitbox rig like this? The hitbox rig can't be independent to the pivot, can it? That and the pivot need to move together. But the environment, is that right?
see.
So
Oh
they need to
God.
stay on the environment. That old wine. Yeah, Kraken. Every time I drink the Wilhelm sip,
Yeah. No.
what's
God.
the Wilhelm sip? Ah, yeah. What's something to have shade commentary, Kraken? Second question. Mm. All right, ambient energy. Did you want to? So that's no. That's a no.
Shit.
When they probably
Yeah.
more for the single player, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna do any of that shit. Not for very, like, a year.
So we've got that. I'm gonna change the armor thing because I'm just gonna have it hanging. Now, what should I do with the armor? Maybe put it on the wall as well. Looks good. All right, cool, man. Enjoy your stream, and I'll send people over there.
Alright. Well, Adam's got his own stuff he's working on. That's why I don't know. Artist versus engineering way of thinking about things. It's like he's got the guy up against the wall, sure, and he needs like an idle animation because he's gonna be on the wall, and it's like he's thinking about all these other things. It'd be like, no, he's gonna be doing exactly the same shit that he's doing right now. Just you're gonna play that animation, so he's gonna slide down the wall and do all that crap. Oh well. And that's the other thing is that now because we don't have like a if we got any sort of like attempt to make things look correct when you're on the wall, now all of a sudden, if we have any sloped walls, your character is gonna look like he's fucking right up against the wall. You know, even though he's not, even though you know it'll be this shit where you've got like this this is the wall and your character is gonna be looking like this against the wall. So he'll be like grabbing onto fucking jack shit in the middle of the wall, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, well, you need to like angle him, right? And then like we'll need like angles, and I'll just be like, you know what, dude? Like, you can't make everything fucking precise. You gotta have some leeway. You gotta like have some sort of other shit in there. Like, don't make it so fucking defined. And I don't know. Like, it's hard to get across to people when they want things to look a certain way and look perfect all the time, and you're just like, that's not how games work. Games don't work through any of that shit. Anyway, I think the only way we'll get through that is if he just makes that stuff, we put it in, and then he sees it and goes, oh, fuck, you're right. That's pretty much the only way we've been able to get through that sort of thing. Well, there's just too much shit to explain, right? Like, there's too many things, like, when you're thinking about hitbox and physics box, if you don't have it all gelled, how all that stuff works, it's nearly fucking impossible to actually talk anybody through any of that crap. You just have to get burned and have to reanimate shit 50 times, and then it's finally beaten into you. Alright, so we need our watch process needs this config file. So what we're going to need to do is make that file itself. So what do we got? We got this process def, and we've got the local process data. Okay, so it's the process def. Yeah, so we're gonna know if we so we need the process details. So we do have the process details. Okay, so all right, so we do set those. Yeah, well, it's a lot different when like I've given him the ability to go make everything analog and make whatever slopes he can draw on everything. And as a result of that, you get a bunch of shit that normally you'd be like, nah, you can only have flat walls. Okay, so if local process data, process details dot write server config path is going to be it's going to be this directory plus the process details server config path. All right, so we need to make the file for that. All right, so conf file. So conf file dot game name is going to be the so I actually need to write this in here. The server config file options, it looks like, need to be a part of the actual definition file. Because we could put these in here. Yeah, I guess we need to have the, this needs to be in the data structures. Alright, so we need to make the config file like that, then we need to turn it into JSON. Then we need to run it through a string templater with the same values. So be unable to templatize config, and then we'll get the reason for that. Otherwise, the string data equals conf res.get object. and wd file utils.assure ensure dirs. We're going to have server config path, and then it is a file. Unable to write server config. So write to file. It's going to be a server config path, and then data. Alright, so that'll write the server config there. If it exists. So I need to change some of these things. Let's see, process def, process details, config file. Let me change some of these to strings. And then what, our deployment tools. Alright, so we're going to have to do all this. We actually need to get the raw things like get value, get config. No. This will be product to product. Server config file dot enable. I need to fix this. So it's going to be if enable configs, right, server configs equals true. Server config path is going to be it's going to be server config file.path. Alright, and then we need to so set that to false to start with, and then we'll put all this stuff in here. So let's import these things, and so we're going to get so let's do string croot server config file dot options dot. So we're going to grab croot dot croot plus game name. We'll get the raw value. Okay, so this is going to be m game port beacon port the admin pass. These are all things that can be further templated. So that will be the game port, beacon port, admin pass. Alright, so this will be m time limit. Then the team size max, score to win, listed publicly, allow team swap, then allow players to change settings. So team size max, alright. Game name, game port, beacon port, admin pass, time limit, team size max, score to win, listed publicly, allow team swap. Alright, so that'll get pushed up there. We'll parse it down. We've got it being written to disk alongside the game, so it should be good. Was that? I may have actually seen that. Is that the thing you posted on like the Facebook page or whatever? The this one, this dude right here, the like super buff, like you don't want to. If you woke up and that guy was in your backyard, you'd like shut the door and like go back to sleep because he's fucking terrifying. He looks like a Viking Dashkin pretty much. He's not. He's gonna take your things or break your things, and you're gonna say thank you, and you're gonna feed him because you don't want to piss him off. Alright, so we got the ports and all the rest of these things up there. I think that is enough to write out our server config file and do everything like that. So one thing that I do want is to have a password for this server. So the password, I think I'm going to need to add that and then sync those configs out there. So server password, let's see, dev safe. Did it not work? Did not open? Oh, it did open. Okay, I was like, where did everything go? Alright, so services, what we want to do is, let's add a new group. Let's call it Brackensec. And then let's add a group. Let's do game server, and let's add an entry called admin pass. And what should our password be? Something simple that we might actually give to people that we trust-ish. And that would allow people to change some settings and spawn some bots on servers and kick people if they really wanted to. Yeah, I assume the Dashkin also have that kind of wiry sort of strength build. Like, humans are built to be able to do things finely and to do them quickly, versus, you know, like great apes or other monkeys, which are much stronger and just how the frame is put together, a lot more leverage. Like if you were going to make an arm to make it as strong as possible, you certainly wouldn't make it this freaking long. You know, it's just not a great plan. And you'd have more stuff that's directly, pulling as opposed to pulling, along like some stupid ass, horrible angle like we do. Alright, so we need Alright, so the watch process we need to grab wd.c.get cred credential for config. No, just get cred. It's going to be brackensec.game server admin pass, and then we're gonna leave it with nothing if there's nothing found. Alright, so we'll get wd credential. So if admin cred let's see, passwords admin cred does not equal null. Admin pass equals admin cred that's in password string. And then we need to do map.put pass admin pass. So we'll set our password in our file. based on that, and we'll write it out. So I think that should be everything. So what we need to do is check this in. We're actually going to be taking out the these options, though. We're not using them. So server map, server port, beacon port, not getting set. Server key is, map name, we're not using. Auto kill, we're not using. Same with auto kill game, so we're not using any of these things pretty much. So that'll simplify our command line quite a bit, and everything like that. What map do we start with? Yeah, we forgot a variable entirely, which is our map path. And so I'm going to have everything start with the sunny day level, just because it's easier that way. Well, damn, that's actually a question. I'm going to have to do a little bit of trickery with this. I actually want to do okay, I think I'm starting to figure out how I want to do this. So I'll have the sunny day and all these other maps. GL Foggy Night. What is the... Let's put up the editor again and see what the path is. Yeah, but you gotta admit, humans are like, if there's any animal that you want to come across in the woods, like, it basically would be, like, what would creep you out more, like a bear or a person in the middle of the woods for no good reason? You're probably like, ah, Jesus Christ, that dude is gonna murder the shit out of me, or do worse, like the bear will kill you, right? But it's not gonna like put you in a torture chamber for the next 20 million years or something. Alright, so if procnum mod 3 equals 0, we're going to use the sunny map. Else, if procnum mod 3 equals 1, we will use the night map. Else, we are going to use the forest day. So basically, we will always be on the next map for these things. So sunny map, night map, forest day. So sunny map, night map, forest day. And cats. Hey, look at this thing. Look at this thing. While I Chew on it. I did a thing. I killed it. Aren't you proud of me? Alright, that looks correct. So that's the map path in there. And we got the correct path. So I think this will actually work. Okay, so we need to check this stuff in, and let's do that. So we need to build our tools. So Java tools need to be built. We need to sync our credentials. And sync our configs. So we'll get our tools going here. Then we're going to need to deploy the game server out there, and then we'll need to deploy our game server artifact out there as well. So I will just be patient and wait, as I must do. Ah, man, people always conflate things that don't make any fucking sense to them. Like, oh, somebody slapped a tariff on something I don't like. It's like, yeah, it's a tariff. It's different than a tax. It's trying to promote internal production of a certain item, not international production of a certain item. It's different than not supporting the technology. It's wanting your own country to make that thing. People are dumb. Alright. So we still just gotta wait for this build, which it's almost finished. Once it's finished, well, I also need to build the server, don't I? So why don't we kick that guy off as well? We gotta build all the things. Yeah. It's nice to see these systems actually functioning. Like, I put together all these tools over the past year, and there's just like no way in hell I could do any of this stuff without all the automation tools that we have set up. Because it's like, okay, I need to deploy a game server, I need to configure it, I need all these systems to come together with, get the credentials from here, and then sync it over here, push it up there. That way it's now available on the server. That way this server can pull it down and not that other server. And then we need to write this to a file. but it needs to be specific to this server because it's got its own server key and it's got its own deployment number. And we need this server to start with a sunny day map, and this one to start with a night, and this one start with a forest, and they all need to do this independently of each other, even though they can't talk to each other. The fuck? The Java server failed to build. Why failed to build? It's complete bullshit. Unable to access jar file. Oh. Well, that's because it was getting written to. So that makes sense. No, we had a build failure. The first build failure of the Java server in a week. But before that, the last build failure before that was in December. So we've gone almost a full month without a break. Excellent. Because this is the only thing that I have. Okay, so the other thing we wanted to check was Adam said he fixed the running fast, jumping into the air, doing a spin kick, and hitting the ground, where you would then actually land and run into the ground at full speed and get stunned. He said he fixed that, which was a rigging thing that we went through. I just need to double check it. So let's go to that night level. Because it's got the Mound of Truth on it. Let's boot this up. So what we were doing was we were running, jumping, and running into the ground. Oh, it totally works. And if you're also noticing, it's not screwing up any of the rest of our stuff. Yeah, see, you might not notice this, but like if I jump and hit the ground while I'm still doing the animation, it no longer gets all fucked up. It no longer like immediately halts the attack animation and all that, so you can kind of hit the ground and be spinning on the ground now. Because the rigging for the animation is properly set up. That is exactly what we want to see. Excellent. That is fixed. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark that green. So we have this. The next thing we want to do is we want to deploy dedicated servers. Rackensec Linux, version latest. Deploy Dashkin game server, game test. Oh man, it's gonna be another little tense thing on the end of the week when we gotta release this update, because I gotta push everything out there again, which is cool and all, that we have changes across every single system in the game. But I gotta do another, like, okay, let's just deploy the entire universe here and hope to God that we shook it up enough that it'll all come back to life. It's like in Jurassic Park when, Samuel L. Jackson restarts the system. It's like, is it gonna come back online? Well, I don't know. I mean, theoretically it will, but We have no fucking idea. Alright, so we're resulting the stop. Deployed it out there. God, it was like deploying for region US West 2. Wait, oh yeah, there are no servers. Okay, good. Fuck. Alright, so deploy latest to test is what we want to do. So we have deploy product, which is the Brackensack X64. And we also have deploy product Brackensack server X64. We also have deploy dedicated game servers. So we're going to want to look in S3. S3. And take a look at what we got rolling. So the deployment test processes. Alright, so that's what it's supposed to look like with all that shenaniganry going on. And deploy. Yeah, it's gonna have to zip everything up before we can send it. What, did Adam like leave already? Is he done? Is he not online anymore? Oh no. Does power go out or something? Yeah, he's off Discord too. Australia must have fallen off the face of the planet. Again. I mean, that's what I get for living down there. Stream dropped again. Yeah. Yeah. I blame the hobbits that live in New Zealand. They came over and they cut the power. Fucking hobbits, what good are they? Always bitching about rings. All they do is eat your fucking food and then make messes everywhere. Okay, Dashkin server shipping Linux master artifact. Very good. Yeah. See, that's why we don't. That's why we don't have our main platform hanging out in Australia. So I'm still uploading this artifact to S3. So I'm literally just kind of stuck here for a second while this happens. And the reason it's kind of slow is probably because we're also trying to upload. Yeah, we're uploading the installer for the game to the test environment right now too. And we're also uploading, how much video data. So that's always a fun thing. And I've actually got like the upgraded upload cap and everything like that for my internets and business class internet because I need to watch my YouTubes in HD. But just based on where I am geographically, that there's not really super amazing internet compared to if I was over in like Seattle or something. I have been extremely spoiled in my corporate life by living in places where they have big hookups, like Amazon and Electronic Arts. You'd try to upload something and you'd have like, gigabyte upload speeds, stuff like that. Like 450 gigabytes per second? Ah, shit, no problem. Deploy dedicated servers. Fail. What? Why did it fail? Checking if process def file exists. It does download. Watchdog data structures process details. Declares multiple JSON fields named options. What? Alright, so WD process details. Oh, we got options and we got options again. Fuck. So we want server options or yeah, server config is what it should be called, I think. Well, damn, I gotta go rebuild stuff now. Gotta wait for more rebuilds. He's still out? Yeah. That means he's probably really offline. Because either like the internet comes back in 5 minutes or it comes back in like 2 hours. That's usually how it works. That's gotta be frustrating. I think he has to deal with that a lot. Like the power and the internet really doesn't go out on any of my stuff, like hardly ever. Like I know last year I had a couple weeks where the power went out like 2 times. But that was it. That was like the whole year. Done, What was that number? So let's see. We're still building stuff. It was quite stable for last year. Yeah, that's how it works. Alright, so the Java server is built, the Java tools are built. Deploy dedicated servers. Let's test Brackensec Linux latest. You learn to speak English. So let's deploy this stuff out there